Hey guys, it's afternoon, and I'm going to share a teaser for this afternoon. I'm going to come out of chapter 7, and to set it up for you, I'm going to ask you a question. And the question is, what happens when a husband decides he's going to go out of town with his side chick and leave a wife, his faithful wife, at home? What happens? Her girlfriends step in. So I'm going to read you a passage from chapter 7, and that was the setup. Here goes. On the night of the ball, Eddie had talked herself out of going until Savannah called and said 4 words: go and have fun. Eddie's best friend from work, Monique, had promised to meet her at the entrance so she wouldn't have to walk in alone. Monique has always attended parties alone. This gives me the choice of whom, if anyone, I want to leave with, she teased Eddie. Monique had been married once, for a total of 3 weeks, before she decided that marriage was not for her. She had a 5-year-old son, and rumor had it that one of the doctors at the hospital was the father. She never mentioned the father to Eddie, and Eddie respected her privacy enough not to ask. Eddie sat outside the hotel and watched couples go into the ball. Her stomach was tied in knots. She had never not been a couple. You can do this, she told herself. Slowly, she started walking towards the entrance. Oh God, please let Monique be there, she repeated in her head. Just as she stepped into the entrance, Monique walked over and took her arm. You look gorgeous. You'll have to fight the men off, she told her. Eddie nervously smiled and thanked God for answering her prayer. Monique and Eddie were seated at the table with Dr. William Davis, the hospital's most notable playboy. Tonight, let me see. As the night passed, several men in the room asked Eddie to dance, and she politely declined them. Monique shook her head in disbelief as Eddie sipped on her club soda. Around 10 o'clock, Dr. Charles Buckaluba walked over to their table. He and William were best friends. Have you two met? William asked, looking at Eddie. Eddie could feel her throat go dry. We bumped into each other once, she said with a mysterious smile. Monique looked at her suspiciously. After proper introduction, Charles sat and talked for about 10 minutes, and then, to everyone's surprise, he turned to Eddie and looked directly into her eyes. With that deep, accented voice, he said, I've watched you send half the men in here back to their seat. I don't know why I might think I'm the luckiest man here tonight, but I'm going to take a chance and ask. He smiled shyly and offered her his hand. Please spare me the embarrassment of letting my best friend see me walk away with my head hung down. May I have this dance? Eddie was completely caught off guard. Was this the same man who seemed to go in the opposite direction when they saw each other at the park or at work? She studied him carefully. Surely one dance with him would be safe. He was a respectable older man, and even the grapevine couldn't find fault in her dancing with him. She looked back at his hand extended to her. With his clean shaven head, ebony skin, and eyes that remind her of a starless night, she had to admit he was handsome. William glanced at Monique, who looked at Eddie, who was now looking into Charles' eyes as deeply as he was hers. There was a sincerity in his eyes that told her, "You can trust me." She took his hand and he led her to the dance floor. He placed one hand on her waist. She placed one hand on his shoulder, and they placed their other hands together. The perfect fit of her hand in his was a strange comfort that sent a chill up Eddie's spine. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. I feel like everyone is watching us, she said. I can tell you how to make them disappear. How? She asked. Close your eyes and only hear the music. He said it with such innocence and conviction that without a second thought, she did exactly as he said, and everyone else disappeared. After one more dance, he walked her to her car, kissed her hand, and thanked her for a wonderful evening. That night, as she drifted off to sleep, the memory of the first touch of his hand was her last thought. That's from chapter 7. And that is what happened when a husband leaves his wife unattended. Um, we will see what happened in our next teaser. As always, I invite you, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Please like and share the video, and I'll leave the link to the book where you can purchase it. Very good book. I'm skipping around. You don't want to miss one word. I'll talk to you the next time when I offer you another teaser between afternoon and evening. See you next time. Bye.